I wear a few hats with Bex, and today I'm wearing my Black Hole Explorers program coordinator hat. And I just want to give a very brief intro to this lovely program we have at the CFA. This is generously supported by the tutors who have philanthropically supported SAO quite a bit in the past and have taken a real shine to the Black Hole Explorer project, as well as the many opportunities that we provide for students to grow and learn in a sort of their undergraduate and graduate career. We're just 2 years old. We've only had two real cohorts of students so far, but we're already seeing tremendous work by these students, and I'm very glad that you'll be able to hear from some of them today. So typically we take undergraduate and graduate students, mostly undergraduate, for a 10-week summer project on Beck Science or Engineering. And as you'll see in the projects today that you hear from Vadim and Sol, these are not simple. These are real nuts and bolts projects that are key to the Beck's mission and are really sort of frontline work in developing the way we will carry out observations in the future. And I want to emphasize, before I get into some of the interns we've had, that these are not the only interns working on BECS around the world. There are, as evidenced by the huge number of people calling into this lovely science workshop, there are lots of people working on BECS, and lots of them have interns doing terrific work. So consider this just a zoom in on our own local efforts here at the CFA, but really it's a global community. And indeed, some interns who are not even in a BECS affiliated internship at a program at all have ended up doing work that was of relevance to BECS theory work, as you heard from Julian Kearns yesterday, who is an intern of our sort of cousin program, the SAO EHT Scholars, also the CFA. So all of this to say, the frontiers of science march forward with hand in hand. But I'm very excited to highlight our Black Hole Explorers. So as a whirlwind overview, we've had 10 students total so far. Last year in 2024, we had Aditya Tamar, who was working with me on sort of polarization flips in the photon ring and sort of hunting for both linear polarization and circular polarization signatures of the photon ring interferometrically, and where you can go dig for photon ring detection. Kim Alonso was working with Sarah Isaoun on sort of laser communications logistics and terminal placement. Alice Zhang, of course, was doing these demographic GeoMHD ray tracing project, which you just heard about as an input to the work that Yuto was doing. Elizabeth Kozlov worked with Frank Roloffs and Michael Johnson on the way scattering affects the Sagittarius star photon ring measurement. Sol Gutierrez Lara, who you'll hear from later today, worked with me and Michael on, no spoilers, but a very cool project relating to astrometry of the photon ring. Gabriela Montano worked with Ed Tong and Kira Carter on instrumentation for BECS. Vadim, who you'll hear from shortly, has been working with me and Dominic Chang on polarimetry in these simulatic jukebox models, which extend from the Kerbam model you heard about a bit from Joseph earlier. Braden Nowicki has been working with Paul and Dominic on snapshot modeling of Sagittarius A star, which is going to be critically important for fitting the rapidly time-evolving source structure of Sagittarius star with a relatively slowly evolving orbit. Oh goodness, I have a typo. In fact, I'm going to fix this on the fly. I won't let it stand. This is Kratika Mazda. I've been too aggressive with my copying and pasting for formatting purposes. So Kratika has joined us from IAP in Paris and has been working with Angelo Vercarte on trying to reproduce sort of sub-millimeter X-ray luminosity distributions in sort of a wider population of black holes. And Will Guan has been working with the Delilah Gates on relative astrometry of the inner shadow and the photon ring. How do we bootstrap to the spin shift effects that we love to talk about in the absence of an absolute phase center? So all of these are critically important projects that are super darn cool. And you're only getting a little taste today from Sol and Vadim. But just keep an eye out for these lovely students as they navigate their careers, because all of them did a terrific job, and it was a real pleasure to have them here with us. So I'm going to shut up. I'm not even going to take any questions. I want to get right into the student talks. But thank you for listening, and I believe I'm turning it over first to Sol.